Hello, everyone. Welcome to All About Energy Life. Today, I'm joined by Mr. Kamal Polite. He's an amazing doctor who received his Bachelor of Science in Aviation Management and Flight Technology at Florida Institute in 1993. He has a commercial pilot license in single and multi-engine landing and airplanes with instrument ratings. Upon finishing his degree, he continued to further his education at Florida College of Integrated Medicine in Orlando. There, he earned his second bachelor's degree in natural science and a master's degree of Oriental medicine in 1997. He became a board certified acupuncture physician upon graduating and remains one until the present day. Dr. Kamal served two internships while at the Florida College of Integrative Medicine at the Orlando Chinese Medical Center at, I can't pronounce it, doctor. uh, Young,
Yu Huangding,
thank you.
translated as Temple
Temple
Hill
Hill
Hospital.
Hospital.
Yeah, exactly.
It was right after that. He opened
Exactly.
his practice in Oriental Holistic Options in 1997. Upon his return from China, Dr. Kamal began developing his own herbaceuticals. In 1998, he was a guest speaker for MD Anderson Cancer Center of Orlando um, for the nursing grand rounds and physician grand rounds presenting on cancer and traditional medicine. He has also been on several television programs, including America's Healthcare Network and Medical Matters. Dr. Kamal has also spoken on various radio programs dealing with a wide variety of topics relating with traditional Chinese medicine, including the body type system. He develops various trademarked products based on Chinese medicine. Currently, he travels globally with his 12 body type diagnosis and herbal treatment seminars for physical and body type systems seminars for the public, including understanding my true nature with body type system, maximizing his relationships with the body type system, harmonizing my training with the body type system, and navigating nutrition with the body type system, levels 1, 2, and 3. Dr. Kamal also works as a consultant to physicians and estheticians. He's trained in 18 methods of Qigong and healing sounds. Now, Dr. Kamal, I'm so excited to have you on today. We have a lot of catching up to do.
Exactly. Well, thank you. I didn't think you were going to do that long of a bio.
I
Really
had to
try
tell,
to, abbreviate it.
no, I had to tell the world who you are.
Okay, that's
Honestly,
great.
you know why? Because I want people to understand, I'm really excited about what I've been seeing changing in my life. And I want people to see, who are you?
Sure,
What's going
sure,
on? So
sure,
yes,
sure,
I'm really excited to share your bio. Really excited.
sure,
But
sure.
now, Dr. Kamal, how have you been?
I've been great. We've been like steadily moving on, as you know, and we're little by little getting our message out there because a lot of what we wanted to do was to get the right foundation and infrastructure. So when I did a lot of traveling, when either on the East Coast, West Coast, or abroad, what I found is that I would go to different places, teach the different lessons, but then there was a hard time people following up. So what I decided to do was create an infrastructure of a network online so that when I do the physical presentation, they have that support system after I leave, and then they can complete their journey. It's great to open the door for somebody. And if they walk in, they go, oh, wow, this is a whole new world. Yeah. But then now they need a guide to that new world. So
Yeah.
then now, many times people would walk through the door, they get really great results, but then they didn't get a chance to follow up. And I was like, yeah, they need somebody to help them with just guiding them through. And so now that we have that foundation, that support system with OHO seminars, And then for those people who are looking for a more traditional approach for medicine, where they're like, okay, I just have a bump or bruise, I just have a, a tickle over cough or respiratory, whatever, then they have our brand name Sujin Bao. Sujin Bao means 4 golden treasures. So it doesn't matter if you're looking for prevention or if you're sick. You can go either way with us. Now, we have SICK is an acronym for us, okay? Stands for SIC, sick, symptoms, indications, and conditions. So if you have a symptom, indication, or condition, then now you go to our website for Sujin Bao. Then you take care of those things, look at your symptoms, get the appropriate product. And then once you want to deal with prevention, hey, how did I arrive at that particular destination called sickness? Then we can say, oh, well, this was a part of your constitution. This is where you made the wrong left turn in Albuquerque, to use a Bugs Bunny analogy. So now you say, okay, now we're going to get back on track and get our bodies back to wholeness.
Right.
Okay. And then you can maintain that wholeness by understanding the do's and don'ts of your vehicle. Now, are people going to embrace exactly what we're going to say 100%? I know they're not.
Well,
So
I
that's why
thought
I
you
said I had
were,
to develop both sides so
uh-huh.
that when you do get yourself in trouble, right, you have that parachute and you don't hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And that's what I like about what you teach, is that it's a whole system. And that for me really resonated, because I don't think that when it comes to the whole body, with the mind, body, soul, it's not like one thing. So if someone says, "Oh, you can handle this spiritually, let's just, 100%." I think they're also interwoven. And what I like about your plan is that for me, it resonates because I feel like it hits all of those spots. I
sure.
want to actually share a story, if I could, on
Sure.
how I met you and why I
Yeah.
was introduced to you.
Mhm.
A couple years ago, I basically had really uncurable vertigo. When I say uncurable at that time, I had gone to Western avenues of my primary ENT and ortho.
Sure.
And basically, I was given the diagnosis of like, oh, there's a certain percentage of people that just have this and you'll just have to deal with it.
Sure.
Okay. Well, it put me in a really dark spot because, one, I couldn't drive. Two, I
Mhm.
was bouncing off the walls a little. I couldn't walk straight.
Mhm.
Um, to the point where I thought some really dark thoughts. I thought, well, I can't live like this.
Sure.
Okay. So then I had a very amazing friend, Quinn and Diana, that said, you really need to give a shout out and make an appointment to Dr. Kamal.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
said, I will try anything at this point because I'm not going to live like this. Like,
Sure.
this is not acceptable to me. And that's
Sure.
when I had that amazing appointment with you. So I just remember getting on the Zoom appointment,
Right.
and for my spiritual friends, I'm gonna just go right in. So I immediately recognized you. I've never seen you before in my life, but I
Mhm.
actually remember you from another time. And
Mhm.
I said,
Mhm.
okay, I remember you.
Mhm.
And that appointment was such an important appointment for Saba, for me,
Mhm.
to be
Right.
able to get that balance again. And the
Sure.
way that you explained to me what was going on with my body, I couldn't find that anywhere else. You said, Saba, you have too much. I'll let you explain it actually, about the pressure in my body
Yeah.
and why I was experiencing vertigo.
Yeah.
And I didn't come to you just for vertigo. I came to you for lymphedema in my left arm
Sure. Sure.
and major pains in my stomach from acid reflux, or Gerd.
Sure.
Um, and I was refusing to take medication, but the pains were so horrible that sometimes I would think I would need to get rushed to the ER, but I never did. So if you want to go ahead and jump in about what
Yeah,
was it?
in your case, once we go and find out somebody will come to me. They do what we call a consultation questionnaire. In that questionnaire, you highlight what things you want to focus on. Okay. Because I may see some things, but I'm here to actually focus on your concerns. Okay. So if you were to come to me as a patient, a type of regular patient that I'd see physically, then I would say, okay, I did my clinical assessment, your pulse, your tongue, your different palpation of different areas. But what I found is that in ancient times, the doctors actually developed what was called looking type of assessment, where they across the room, they could see what was going on with the patient. Okay. So then I developed that particular skill. And now utilizing that, and we assess your constitution and using that as an azimuth of which direction that we're going to go. Then I looked at you and said, okay, what type is she? Okay, now we have the type. Then you put that into the computer of, okay, why is her body expressing what the West is called lymphedema? In the East, we don't call it that. We call it yang deficiency. Okay, nice little term, but what does it mean is that your body does not have enough heat to circulate the water, so everything is bloated. So it's like, okay, so what happened to her heat? Oh, and then I started investigating. Then, okay, as a water type, we always say that this person has a propensity or they're prone to dehydration. And typically, if you start your life off where your body is whole, typically, if you're born like all of us, 10 fingers, 10 toes, your body is whole. And then that's when everything starts going downhill because you don't have any type of understanding of what your constitution is. So you don't know how to now properly adjust the four energies. So then we talked about the sunlight, oxygen, water, food, and adjusting your body to make sure that we do the do's and the don'ts. The do's for your body is a fruitarian lifestyle. The don'ts is a 0 grain and 0 meat diet. Now, that for many people go, oh my God, are you crazy? What do you mean? Where am I going to get my protein? Where am I going to do this? Where am I going to do that? Da, da, da. And it's okay. Once you understand that the body runs off of energy, and the energy is what aligns the body and keeps everything running, as soon as you realign it, the body takes over the processes. Now, why do I say that? I ask people all the time, how many times do you know how much you blink a day? How many times do you breathe in and out? How many times does your heart beat? Do we even care? No. So why do you care why your lymphatic system is not functioning? Why do you care if it's functioning or not? You really shouldn't. You should be enjoying life. Now, as soon as you know your constitution and now you realign those things, let the body take care of it. That's what it's doing anyway. And you have the expression of swollen limbs and water retention and upset stomach and GERD and all those things as what? Attention getters. Hey, Saba, we need to talk. We need to now not eat any more grain. We need to now not eat any more meat. Oh my God. Oh, that shrimp was really good. And then,
Oh,
oh my God, those things were this and that. And then you start to experience the expression of that animal transformation. Remember, when your body eats food, it gets ripped apart, and what releases is the energy. So I was telling a story one time about early on in the 80s and 90s, they had a lot of different food type of um what do you call it? Food type of commercials. And they had the other white meat and they were promoting chicken. And they had the incredible edible egg and all kinds of different things. Milk does a body good. Okay. Well, then by the 80s and 90s, and while I got into clinical practice, I started seeing people having more issues with fibromyalgia, which is muscle pain. But then the muscle pain that was more like a jumping pain. I mean, very severe pain and very tight joints and all kinds of things. And so in the ancient book called the Huangdi Neijing Su Wan, is the Yellow Emperor's Guide to Internal Medicine. One of the things that stood out to me, it said that eating too much poultry knots the muscles. Literally says it,
Wow.
knots the muscles. So I'm like, oh, people are eating too much chicken, too much turkey. So now I'm massaging one of my clients one time, and I'm feeling that literally that jump in the muscle. And it's like, oh, do you feel that? I'm like, yeah, you must be in a lot of pain. Yeah. I said, oh, this is the chicken's last revenge because it's pecking your muscle.
Oh my goodness. So let me understand this. So the 12,
Mhm.
just for viewers that are watching this,
Yeah.
it's the 12 body types. And so how did you find this knowledge of the 12 body type systems? So
Yeah.
basically, in your session or
Yeah.
appointment, when you book a session with you, you're basically looking at their body and you're
Sure.
figuring out which one they are, right? And
So
so you're
yeah,
gonna get this
no,
information.
I'm not figuring it out. Actually, they're just telling me. Okay, there you
You're
guys are
right.
doing
You're right.
things all the time that okay, so you have like a groomer. A groomer. What kind of body type is this? Feline.
Okay.
Right? So you
Well,
have one that's constantly doing like this, okay? You know,
what is a water
a
person? I'm water
water,
yin.
a
Let's hear
water,
about
the
that.
the primary, the primate, they constantly groom like by picking because they pick the fleas off of people, right? They constantly do things. The water yin types are very slow moving, very happy. They started, right? Like turtles. So you
Yeah,
see the movement and you already see the energetic expression. They tell you, you don't tell them.
got
So
it.
when I'm training physicians, I said, I'm giving you the classifications for ease. But in ancient times, they had different labels. They had the Wuxing, which was the 5 constitutions. Then I put it into 12 constitutions so that we get very, very specific
Mhm.
and the expression that we're seeing. Okay. Then we can delineate even those 12 into the higher levels of the body type system. And once the practitioners learn the highest level, it's 120 body types.
Oh, okay. Hold on. You've piqued my interest
Yeah.
because I've really found in understanding my body type, again, that put me in the classification of fruitarian.
Fruitarian. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I'm totally fine with that because
Yeah.
and for the viewers that are watching now, I do not have any more vertigo. If I do not eat according to my body type, I will immediately within like 12 hours to 24 hours start to experience vertigo. If I'm not doing tons of fruit throughout the day, I can already sense that I'm going to start heading for some kind of trouble. Now, I say this to you all the time that, luckily I had a situation that I can tell between 24 to 48 hours max or 12 hours that I need to tweak it. Unfortunately,
Sure.
some people that don't have that are like dealing with some kind of process that they will not see the results for 100 to 200 days.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to convince them to stick with it. Like I know some people are probably have done the session and go like, I'm not going to give up lettuce or grains or meat
And
or
that's and
whatever.
I tell people all the time, remember, when we talk about the 4 energies, food is the last thing you need to change
Right.
because it's the actual least return. Least return. I
Mhm.
say, okay, I give you $2 to invest in a company. $1, company A gives you a 90% return. So I give them $1, they give me back 90 cents. Company B, I give them $1 and they give me 10 cents back. Which company would you invest in?
The other one.
So then now when we say the holistic system of the body type system, we talk about sunlight, we talk about oxygen, we talk about water. That's 90% of what you should be doing. It's behavioral. Then the 10% is the food adjustment because it is a pivotal point that actually accrued over time. You've been eating meat and grains since you were 2 years old. You've accrued all of that energy moving into that vertigo, moving into that lymphedema, moving into those particular situations.
Or
So that's
even
why,
cancer for
or
me. I mean,
even because
what I
cancer
went
is
through.
actually a response. This is one of the things that people don't understand. Cancer is an autoimmune response. What they're calling in Western medicine is a autoimmune response. The body is overreactive.
Mhm.
So once we find out what the body is assessing as a threat, then we can tell the body you are no longer in danger, and the body will no longer start producing those cells. So that's why I did the presentation at MD Anderson Cancer Center, nursing grand rounds, physician grand rounds. And early in my career, they started sending me patients because it was a different concept or approach that we did in Yuhuangding Hospital than they do here, traditionally here in the United States. So you have that kind of novel approach from their point of view, but from our point of view, we've been doing it for 4,000 years.
I love
Okay.
it.
So this
I,
idea is that, we exchange information, and then now you can help more people.
right. And that's great that you did that. I absolutely love the system because again, it's incorporating everything, just daily life on the food, like you said, is a small portion of it. But the fact that we need to connect back with the sun, we need to connect back with movement. And that's another part that I actually didn't do in the beginning with you, which was the morning. What is it called? I cannot
Call
pronounce
it
it.
the daily Dao Yin. And
Okay,
Dao
thank
Yin
you. Deli
means
Dalian.
the way of softness. So
Okay.
early morning in China. So I wanted to do Tai Chi in the park. That was one of my biggest, things I wanted to do when I went to China. So I went there early as an American. And early for Americans are, what do you think? What hour?
6, 7.
6, 7, yeah. So I said, okay, I'll be there at 5. Get ready, okay? So I get there and I said, I saw hundreds of people in the park. So I said, hey, where's the Tai Chi today? And they said, oh, we're all done for the day. You need to be here 3:45. I went there 3:45. Thousands of people, literally every morning, doing slow moving, soft exercises, getting their proper qi gong, qi respiration, gong skill, developing the way you respirate. 65% of the body weight is oxygen. This is why I tell people, look, do your sunlight. Sunrise in that area of the world is 3:30, 3:45. Then they're doing their proper oxygen. We now have 70 to 80% response of the body. If you pass out in the mall and they call 911 for you, they're not bringing you a sandwich. They're going to put oxygen on you. They're going to run fluids and they're going to check your eyes. Hey, sunlight. And then you come back. That is 90% of your body's response. So now work on your 90%, your relationship with the sun, whether you're a morning person, evening person, doesn't matter. Find out what works for you. Then do your exercise around that time, respiration, then proper hydration. There's your 90% return. That's company A. Then when you're ready, you say, okay, I want to get my 100%. Perfect. Now, are you ready to give up vegetables for some people? Some people should never eat vegetables a day in their life. Are
Mhm.
you ready to give up the grain? Are you ready to give up the meat? Now, once you're ready to do those things, then I can show you and assist you on this is how you're sabotaging the other 90%. Most of our illness is self-sabotage. That's it. It really is no secret. You knew when you ate that bread what you were going to feel like the next morning. You knew when
Oh,
you had that final beer, that final tequila, what was going to happen. You knew. You did it anyway, which is fine, but your body said, hey, guess what?
You didn't like that. Yeah.
We didn't like that.
I'm telling you what, like, again, fortunately, or whatever you want to say, for me, the response is hours.
Right,
Okay.
right,
Not days. My body's
right,
like, oh, wait a minute. We're feeling really uncomfortable, dehydrated,
sure,
and boom,
sure,
vertigo. And I don't play with it anymore.
right, right.
Thank you so much for what you have offered to the universe, because there's people on this planet that are probably walking around with vertigo. And so I want to
Sure.
scream on the mountaintops and be like, no, you don't have to be that small percentage that's going to live with it for the rest of their life. Come
Yeah.
see Doctor Kamal.
Yeah. And the thing is that we'll find out why. I look at, there is no disease, there's only energetic expression. If I say to you, you take one shot of tequila, you express, oh, a little happiness. Now you drink a whole bottle in 15 minutes. Guess what? Different energetic expression. It's just your body's response to that environment, person, let's say emotionally. You go to a job for the first time and you're like, oh my God, I can't stand this person. Oh, I don't even know this person. Why am I reacting this way? Energetic expression. So then now we have it all, whether it be physical, emotional, or we even say, oh, I hate going into New York City. It has all that smog, and you have this idea about New York City. Well, we consider that spiritual in Chinese medicine. You have an idea about this, but guess what? Some of the best Chinese herb shops are right there at Brooklyn Bridge.
Absolutely. Okay. So something just popped in about my question around healing.
Yeah.
Because I'm in the community of like energetic healing, or whatever you want to call it. I do past life regression, and then I work with the subconscious, and then there's healing there as well. And so for those that are watching, what really I've come to understand, because there isn't one particular modality in the healing world that works for everyone. Okay.
Correct.
And so what I reflect upon my situation with hypnosis, how many sessions I was trying to figure one thing out, but my body was wanting me to go into the route of, no, Saba, there's a whole program that you need to understand. Okay.
Sure.
And so I guess my question to you is, and I want to talk about a new product that you just released
Yeah.
as well, is how do you feel about the point that people say in the healing, natural healing world as well, that are like, no, do the work. If your elbow is screaming at you and you're in pain, do the spiritual work, or like try to understand what is it saying to you before you put a quick fix on there, right? And
Sure.
so,
So remember, we want to always do the modality that is appropriate for the moment. So the French word is triage, the worst first. Okay. If you get hit by a car, you probably don't want to do yoga, right? You want to now set the bones. You want to now get things in order and understand, why were you at the intersection at that moment to get hit? Okay, because they did a study, and it was either in India, Pakistan, or somewhere, where they had people do mindfulness and meditation. For that year, everyone every morning would do a meditation of not getting in an accident, any type of accident, tripping, falling, anything. And they set the intention of, every morning we're just going to focus on no accidents. All year nobody had an accident,
mm-hmm,
because the idea was, we are not going to allow this in our space, in our realm.
right.
And so that's the idea or intention. Now, once you set that intention, now you have to do the work, which is every morning you have to get up and now do the breath work, do the intention work, and now set your day from the beginning to do what? That particular practice. So this is one of the reasons why we do the daily Dao Yin. We set ourselves in the cosmos And each color of the day, each word of the day that we do our moving meditation on, we set with that intention, and then our day flows well every day.
And there's sirens to accent what you just said. So that's a last component I've added, which was the daily Dao Yin.
Yeah.
And let me say this, I absolutely feel a difference in my day. And I love the fact that I can catch you live while you're doing it. I'm a firm believer in that everything is an extension of energy, just like you explained. That's just my understanding. So I'm hearing your voice. Okay. I'm watching the movements and then I'm expressing the movements and I'm understanding that. And so my day tends to flow much softer as I go
Correct.
through my day. And by the way, I feel like it's a layering for my health. It's a layer of the movement. It's a layer of what I'm eating or how I'm exposing to, interacting with the sun,
Sure.
and the water that I drink. So again, it was, hey, Saba, pay attention to your intentions from morning until night. Where are you? This is not just a quick fix. And so now, the other layer that I love, because I overall, when I am operating that way, I do feel, but sometimes there are things that pop up.
Sure.
And you came out with a tea, which I want to share.
Okay.
So excited about. I'm so excited. It's relief tea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And I actually bought this with it, the Revive.
Yeah. Exactly.
Again, I am not getting compensated.
Any
free product. I'm
Yeah,
just
I was so surprised when you did this the other day. We were like, because I had just finished Clubhouse, which is another app that we are on. And we were doing a food show on that, talking about food and nutrition and some other things. So after we did the off-show debriefing, we started searching social media for the outlay of that. And then you popped up. We're like, what's this?
You know why? Because I was like, what just happened? So let me explain the process. So I order it, it comes in the mail. I wasn't on par with my eating. Okay. I'll just come clean.
Yeah, it's okay.
I was eating sugar, and sugar is not on my body type system. I can have fruit sugar from the fruits naturally, like a fruit, and certain fruit, but not sugar. And
but also you could have beet sugar. So this is why, but beet sugar is a root sugar as opposed to cane sugar. So I want people to understand, we have a whole section on the body type system that says sugars, because sugars are not a bad thing. Guess what? Your liver produces sugar. You are sugar. You're sweet. So you don't have to worry about sugar. Get the appropriate sugar for your type, and your body will work. Now, the commercial sugar typically is cane sugar. So it doesn't work well for you. Okay. So now continue, because I want people to realize this is not a restrictive system.
All right. So Saba was having cane sugar, not beet sugar. And I was kind of, cheating a little here and there. And boom, this pain in my neck, which was a precursor to the vertigo. If I let it go too far, it started to be, it was so painful. Okay. And so that's when I reach out to you and you're like, okay, hold on. All right. You need to get out of pain right now. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get back to the other things, but let's get you out of pain. So I ordered the tea.
Yeah.
All right. Order the tea. Like, first of all, excuse my French, what the heck? Because I took it and I'm very sensitive to energy. I could pick up things, man, I could pick them up really fast. I took the tea and I felt like energy just moving out of me. And I thought, okay, that's different. And within a day or two, the pain, really the first day, it was like, wow, a really big release. And I also used this here, the gel.
Yeah, the gel.
Okay. But I was more focused on the tea.
Yeah.
I was incorporating this slowly because there were certain little aches and pains. I was like, I'm going to put this on there as well. I'm doing the whole program because I kind of wasn't paying attention to my body like I should have.
Sure.
So let me just get out of pain and then we'll deal with it. And so now that the pain is gone, interesting enough, emotional things came up. And
Right.
I thought, wow, okay, this was ready to be released. I'm looking at this now. This is something I've been dealing with since childhood. So I find it very fascinating on how your business and how your products have this intention of um, looking at the whole system.
Sure.
Okay. I don't feel like when I'm putting this ointment, I'm like putting this in and it's like, okay, done. Let me go about my day. No, I have to do the work. Now something's probably gonna show up. And it did.
Sure.
And I did the
Sure.
work and I was great.
Sure.
Pain hasn't come back. I'm using the
Correct.
key and I'm using the gel.
Exactly. So now when we looked at ancient times, remember, this is an ancient system. So they didn't have a hustle and bustle that we have today. Everybody in China walked everywhere. They didn't ride horses, they didn't do wagons. Everybody walked everywhere. So when you had different types of conditions, it typically took you several days, weeks, month, typically 100 days to resolve those conditions. Okay. So depending on if it wasn't acute that you didn't have to go to a bone setter, set a bone or things like that nature, maybe it was something emotional going on, especially if you have sleep disturbance. There's a lot of emotional kind of turmoil. So then now I give you an herbal medicine that now circulates we say the chi or the blood. Now, what houses the blood in or stores the blood in Chinese medicine is the liver. Now, interestingly enough, we say the liver is the seat of all emotion. So when you're taking a product that actually is circulating blood, it's also releasing latent emotions that now are going to come to the surface, and now you have to now deal with it.
Oh man, did I have to
You
deal with it?
know? Okay.
But listen, the pain was gone.
But the pain is gone because now you remember those old socks you put under your bed? And then now got the dust bunnies and all that kind of stuff. And you're like, oh, yeah, I'll do it later. Now you clean out all of that old stuff. And now you put everything in the washing machine. Guess what? You got, oh, wow, I got all these socks now. So then now what
Yeah.
happens is that you deal with those experiences. And
Mhm.
now they're just experiences that are discharged. Positive ionic experiences like anger, frustration, sadness, all of these things like guilt. Okay. Those are positive ionic experiences. So one of the jokes I always tell my clients or patients when they would come in said, when you're walking on the beach and there's a thunderstorm or there's great winds and you just feel change and you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. I really feel good. Those are negative ionic experiences. You feel happy, you feel euphoric, you feel like this relief. So then my joke to my patients would always stop being so damn positive. You need to be more negative. Because why? You release your emotions.
Mhm.
And then now you can see it for what it is, but then guess what? It becomes a memory, not something to attach to, but something actually to pass on and share to the next generation.
Mhm. Okay.
So then now with relief, we designed it based on the ancient system of all pain is due to obstruction. Now, I have a Purge Your Pain series that I did years ago that just dealt with revive. I'm going to revise that so that I can include relief. Now, there's 3 stages to purging your pain. There is physical, there is emotional, and then there's spiritual. Now, what we mean by spiritual in Chinese medicine terms is any idea or concept that you hold true that your body doesn't. When you think you're like Michael Jordan, but you're not, and you try to do that dunk and you can't,
Oh my gosh.
guess what? That's an improper spiritual understanding.
Mhm.
And then you realize, oh, well, I had this back pain and I hurt my Achilles tendon and I did all this stuff because I was trying to do something that I possibly couldn't do. That's an idea or concept. Okay, you're not Michael Jordan. Let's fix up that Achilles tendon. Okay. Now let's get you back to what are you? You're Spud Webb. little short guy who can't get there. But guess what? With work, he did the work, and then he kept up with all of those NBA guys.
Mm-hmm.
This guy was about 5 foot something. Everybody in the NBA is 7+, but he could keep up with them because he did the work.
Got
So
it.
this is why I'm saying is that when you're doing something like relief, we looked at it as, okay, so I did Revive many years ago. This is an external product, so we consider this a yang product. Relief is an internal product, so it's considered yin. So now you're working from the inside out and the outside in, and then guess what? It's a match made in heaven and earth. And now that's why it works so fast on your finger, because now you take the relief, everything's relaxed, you put the Revive on your finger, and then now everything starts circulating.
I have to share something with you. By default, as I'm putting it on my finger, all my other fingers, I'm sorry, other hands, I have two hands. My other fingers are actually getting the gel. And I didn't realize how stiff my other fingers were feeling
Correct.
until I had the gel on there. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I'm ahead of this.
Sure.
And taking the tea. And so that's part of my practice now, my daily
Sure.
is just doing that because I don't want to experience that discomfort on my neck right now. I need to
Anymore.
get out of it. Yeah.
And then that's what you'll find is that when you do the Purge Your Pain series, there are points that I suggest for physical pain. Then if you're having some emotional things, unresolved things you don't want to look at, when that comes up, then you put the Revive on those points for emotional. If you have these ideas or concepts that, oh yeah, I'm the greatest thing since sliced bread, but you know, you're not bread. Then there's points that you're going to put on for your spiritual reset.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea is that you're constantly doing inventory. Who is the first witness to everything in your life? You are. So when you go to the doctor and the doctor says, okay, so what happened? Oh, well, I started having vertigo and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so what were you doing when you had vertigo? Well, I don't know. Well, yeah, you do. You were doing something. You had to be doing something. Well, okay. Well, what I was doing was this, and that. Okay, I didn't think that was important, but it's actually important when you're telling somebody else so that they can do the assessment.
Right.
So now you're the first witness. So now, as long as you say, well, wait a second, I was doing this and this. Oh, I have relief, I have Revive, and then you can resolve it right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to wait. You are actually faster than most people. I was looking at a study in the last few months. It takes 4.8 years, 4.8 years for somebody in the United States to find a Chinese doctor.
Oh, wow.
They will go through their general practitioner, family practice. They will go to specialist. Okay, nothing can be done. 4.8 years, then they find us.
Wow. I'm glad
You
I
did it
found
in
you.
2.
I'm glad I found you because I tell you what, for those who, like I've tried so many natural, and like I said, I do other practices.
Yeah.
For my journey, my answer to that is, why did I go this route, or why did I need to? Because my body, my soul knew I needed to do an overhaul. I
Sure.
needed, like, I'm stubborn and it takes time for me to get something as far as get into the habit of it. And so
Sure.
there had to be a lot on the line for me, which was that vertigo, for me to kind of wake up and my body go, okay, we need to like make all these changes. Because if I would have just gone and had it just like that, I don't think I would have really paid attention and made those necessary life changes in the way that I did. And believe me, it's taken me about a year and a half to really implement everything into my daily life, which is the morning movement and watching my energy, my breath, connecting with the sun in a very intentional way so that I can see the results. So it's taken me a little, but I believe that's why I needed to experience it the way I did without having that like really quick, because Saba, okay, me, it would have not made lasting effects for me to do the change from morning until night, for me to have optimal energy and to be able to not have these issues. So yeah, But thank you for making these products.
You're
I'm
welcome.
excited.
And then also, I want to thank you as well, because actually, after that spontaneous expression of gratitude, okay, we started thinking and like, oh, what can we do to now inspire people to help other people? Okay, because in your video, you're so cute. You're like, oh, I, I'm not asking you for products, but I'd like some, and da, da, da.
I'm
And
like,
was
I
like,
don't mind if
that's
it's free.
hilarious. That's so hilarious. So if I could share my screen, if you don't mind,
Sure.
okay?
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
and then you would have to give me permission to share my screen. Okay.
Let's see if I'm. Oh yes. Hang on. Let's see.
Yeah,
Here we go. All right. Is it under preferences?
probably. Yeah,
Share screen.
you have to go and then
Oh,
just.
there we are.
Yeah,
Okay. So I'm there.
and literally, this was like hot off the presses, like as of 2 hours ago.
Individual.
Okay,
So how do
'cause
I allow the person on here? Let's see, scale.
yeah, you just have to, I believe, go to my name and then get the preferences, because I want to share with you what it's the whole concept of sharing. Because there's, in like I said, in China, what impressed me so much was you have all of these people out in the park just doing exercise together. And many times you'll meet different people in the park. So many times you'll meet retired physicians, engineers, business people, all kinds of people. And they're constantly exchanging different things in the park. And you'll
Mm.
learn so many different things just by their experiences, just by talking with them. And so I had that where I was just so happy to be immersed in that type of environment that was so enriching and so fulfilling for me.
Okay, so I'm not able to do it. I do apologize. I'm
Oh
not
yeah,
sure
yeah, yeah, yeah.
how. So
Yeah,
maybe
there's a way to do it.
help.
Well, I believe with participants. Let me just see if I can.
Mm.
Uh, yeah, let me just see. And so my whole thing is that I wanted to be able to get people to be able to share this particular product, because for me, pain is actually relatively um, simple to not only treat, but allow people to realize that they're actually in control of their bodies. You can actually do something with a breath, with a movement, with tea, with gel, with all of these things so simply if somebody trained you. Which is easier for a physician to be working 12 hours a day like I was, doing acupuncture, herbal medicine, massage, and all these kind of things, or stand on the stage and say, hey, everybody, breathe this way, move this way. Okay, we're going to put on Revive today, and now we're going to move this way. And we're going to take our tea. And like the other day, you said, I took my tea and I started doing the daily Dalian.
Oh
That's
yeah, what a game
exactly
changer.
the
That's what I did. I did
right,
that, and then I did my morning movement. I was like, you know what?
right,
It's and actually again the flow. Because I'm very energetic, very
right,
intense, and I'm like so bubbly, and it was like a very steady stream of energy for my day.
correct.
Again, the red flags were like, yeah, we need some attention here. Um, let's smooth it out a little bit. And so
Yeah.
I definitely feel the difference when
And
I
what
don't
you
do
and then
my
what did you
movements.
feel? What did you feel immediately after that particular um session that you did the daily Dalian?
Oh, uh, flow. That's the only word I can say is that I'm flow. In fact, my mind, that's another thing I want to talk about. I haven't mentioned. I know we're going a little over on time, but I have to talk about that. My mind
Yeah,
was racing, right, with lots of ideas and
sure,
lots, and it's steady. It's more in flow,
sure.
and so yes, I'm processing a lot of things out right now. I do believe in the planet, the stars, and the moons has to do with it as well.
Yeah,
But if
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
focused on pain
Yeah,
and that, it's a little much. And so now I'm able to actually focus on what it is that is saying we need to release this. This is an
sure,
old childhood
sure, sure,
trauma, and
sure.
it's ready to go.
And it's ready to go. So now we dealt with the physical. Now you're in what we call the emotional body. So now you can resolve the emotional body stuff. Then once you release the emotional body stuff, then you can go into the spiritual body. So now it doesn't mean that it's linear like that. Some people will deal with their emotional stuff first when they take relief. Some people will deal with their spiritual stuff first. It's not one size fits all. It's going to come into different things. Now, I just sent some of it in the chat for you. So if you open up your chat, you'll
Mhm.
see what we came up with. Because in August, we want to do some things for people. And then you'll be able to share your screen once you bring up those images.
Okay.
Because I
Okay.
want this to be a community thing. That's why I do the daily Dalian. That's where I got the idea from. Thousands of people in the park working with each other, creating a type of negative energetic field. One of the studies that they did is about wild geese. Okay. And what wild geese do is that when they're going through their migration patterns, okay, they are now, how do the ones that are sick, okay, make it thousands of miles to the destination to migrate?
Oops, this is not working out. We're not.
What you do
We're
is you
not gonna
share,
do it. How
yeah,
about
yeah,
we
yeah.
do another
You
video?
just share your screen and
Mhm.
only share that image.
Yeah, it's. Mm,
So now we take a look at the migration pattern, and then what
uh-huh.
happens? The geese that are healthy actually surround the geese that are not healthy, and they create a negative ionic field and actually carry that geese to the destination thousands of miles away. So these are some of the
Beautiful.
demonstrations that I would do in the live presentations, that if somebody was having vertigo or some sort of symptom in class, then we'd sit them in a chair and actually start doing the movements around them. And then they go, where did it go? Because we create a negative ionic field.
You're so magical. Oh my goodness. That's amazing. I
Okay.
love
So,
it.
I mean, you can do that with what we're going to be doing in August is that we're going to be doing a pay it forward campaign.
Mhm.
So then those people, just like you're like, oh my God, I just feel so good.
I just
So
want
when,
people out of pain. I was like,
yeah,
okay, I'm out of
exactly.
pain
And
right now.
so,
I need to be out
so
of pain.
I want when people are getting our product, then we're going to have a pay it forward campaign. We're going to tell everybody how to do that. And then you're going to list the person that you want to pay it forward to. And we're going to send a bottle pro bono to them. So to get them out of pain. I
Wow.
just want people out of
That's
pain.
beautiful. That's a beautiful intention.
Because that, I mean, this came from you, because this is why I'm like, you're less like, oh, I wish I could get, product. It's like, this is how you're going to get product. And we're going to have all kinds of different incentives we're going to have rewards programs and all kinds of things, because if we work together as a community, by 2023, everyone's going to be pain free. That's my goal. 2023 is the year we're pain free.
That's beautiful. That's
Okay.
beautiful. That's a beautiful program.
Because because when we deal with the pain issue, then we can move on to some other cool stuff. It's like, okay, Sabo, what do you want to deal with this? Oh, well, I was looking at this and we were doing this. Oh, well, in
Yeah,
Chinese
I
medicine,
wasn't
this
I
is how
wasn't
we do
focused
it.
on doing this all day and going, oh my
Yeah,
gosh. I actually was
yeah,
able to look at some emotional stuff that was coming up. And so when the physical was out of the way, I was like, okay, I get it
right,
now. Let
right,
me work on that. So thank you
right.
again, Dr. Kamal, for
You
such an
got it.
amazing product.
You
Thank you
got
for
it.
all the research you've done. Thank you for the system. It's really working. Honestly, to be very frank with you, I thought of like without saying the words, how am I going to live here like this with this
Yeah,
vertigo?
yeah,
And
yeah.
so for someone who was able to see, because I went to all the specialists, to be able
Sure.
to sit here today and be able to not have that vertigo
Sure.
and not signed off as like that 1-2% of whatever
Sure.
world
Sure.
that's going to just live with it, and to be
Sure.
sitting here and to drive a car and to feel okay. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart.
You're
Really.
welcome. You're welcome.
And for anybody that's watching this, I will put the link for Dr. Kamal on the bottom. If there's anything that you need to get resolved, book a session with him, or you just want to be ahead of the game and you don't want to be chasing it like I was, definitely book a session with him. I highly recommend.
Shorten those 4.8 years. Okay, just shorten it. Go directly. Do not, it's like Monopoly, goes directly to Dr. Kamal. Do not stop. Do it. Just go, and then let's see if we can work on it together.
Good. Very
Just
good.
let's see if we can work on it together.
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you so much again. Amazing.
You're welcome.
I appreciate your time. It was fun. Take care.
Take
All
care.
right. Thanks. Bye-bye.